Welp, Dallas proved me wrong, goodness gracious, sweeping America's darling in the conference finals, no less. Man, Luka heard my basketball is for black people again comment and said, "Neja faga ni." But anyways, if you've been living under a rock for the past few months, then you may not know. The NBA season is coming to a close. The finals are finally upon us. Two teams have distinguished themselves from the rest of their conference and have proven they have what it takes to be NBA champions. So enough stalling, let's get right into it. If you enjoy this content, go ahead and like and subscribe. Comment down below who you got winning the series, share the video with a friend, and welcome to the Sweatshop. Dallas Mavericks versus the Boston Celtics. One team we've expected to be here since essentially the beginning of the season, and another team we expected to be first round exits up until the trade deadline. One team walking through hell and back to reach this stage, the other team treating their conference how you treat your little cousin when you play them in 2K. As far as paths go, these two organizations could not be on further ends of the spectrum, but they do share one similarity. They are worthy of being here. So before we get started with the actual analysis, let's clap it up for both squads. Give them their props. Congratulations Mavs and Celtics on getting to the final round of the NBA playoffs. We hope you have luck with health and you both play at your best. Alright, let's get into the analysis. If you're new to the channel, first off, welcome. We're happy to have you. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button real quick. And also, in our past playoff preview videos, the format of the analysis portion has been something like this. A quick synopsis on each team's season, how do they match up, what X factors do they have, what game plans could they possibly employ, blah blah blah. And this video will be similar except for one thing. Instead of going over a quick synopsis of each team's season, I want to go over how each team got here. Because at this point in the season, what you were in the regular season matters much less than what you've been in the playoffs. So let's start this off with the Dallas Mavericks. What got them to the NBA Finals? If you've gotten into basketball over the past few seasons but haven't watched the Dallas Mavericks play over the last half of the season or in the playoffs, you'd probably make the assumption the thing that got the Dallas Mavericks to the NBA Finals is the offensive wizardry of their all-star guards. And if you said that, you'd be wrong. Not fully wrong, but kinda wrong. Luka and Kyrie just haven't been as good offensively as we've come to expect from them. They've been good overall for sure, don't get me wrong, but I mean, we've seen Kyrie on an NBA Finals run rival prime LeBron James as a scoring option. And throughout his career, we've seen Luka put up scoring numbers only exceeded by Anthony Edwards' father. So the standards are a little bit higher for them. So if the Mavs didn't get here on the back of Kyrie and big back of Luka Doncic, I don't know, like what happened? Their defense has been suffocating. Like, give these brothers a tracheotomy stat or we may lose them types of suffocation. Dominatrix autoerotic types of suffocation. And what makes them even scarier is it hasn't really been one guy. Like, sure, Derrick Jones Jr., PJ Washington, Josh Green, they've been good point of attack defenders, but they haven't been A++ top of the league. Sure, Derek Lively Jr. and Daniel Gafford have been elite rim protectors, but we've seen time and time again that elite rim protection alone is not enough in the playoffs. Sure, Luka and Kyrie are actually putting in some solid work on that end of the court, but even at their best, with the load required of them, on the offensive end, they're not going to be more than good defenders. No, there hasn't been any one guy carrying this defense like MJ carried the Jackson 5. It's been a full team. And it's a lot harder to game plan for a team when they win as a team. That's just on one end of the court though. On the other end of the court, you gotta deal with Luka and Kyrie, two of the best shot creators in the league, running a pick and roll with smart and ultra athletic bigs for 48 minutes. Impossible to beat without having help defense, and a heavy help defense can definitely be used with this team because their supplementary shooters are not great, but Luka and Kyrie are going to keep hitting the open guy. And the Mavs guys have proven that they'll make that shot eventually. Enough about the Mavs though, let's get into the Boston Celtics. What got them to the NBA Finals? Well, I don't know, it's been a little bit of everything really. Similar to the Mavs, a really good defense. I mean, when the worst perimeter defender in your starting lineup is Jason Tatum, you have to be by default a top 10 defense. And then similarly to the Mavs, their offense is just hard to stop. It's not hard to stop just because of a simple action though. It's hard to stop because they just got so many guys to defend. Defending them is like walking through a field of mosquitoes butt-ass naked. You got too many entry points to stop if Jason Tatum is off, which he is frequently. Go to Jaylen Brown, who some people think may be even better than Jason Tatum. If they're both off, go to Derek White, elite shooter and solid shot creator. If he's off, Kristaps Porzingis is an elite shooter himself and has been elite at attacking the mouse in the house. And if he happens to be off, oh, Jrue Holiday is just an elite post-up player? Like, honestly, their starting lineup is so versatile that it makes me think worse of their coach, just by virtue of them being so good. They have the answer to any question you could possibly come up with as a defense, and too many times it feels like they just spam the more threes button. Honestly though, their path to the NBA Finals has been so easy that maybe they just didn't feel the need to actually game plan. And that's where we're going to get into the next part of the video, who each team beat on their way to the finals, because quite frankly, it is night and day. The Mavericks went through a gauntlet. First round on the road with the Los Angeles Clippers with an albeit playoff Kawhi Leonard, injured, and playoff James Harden, ass. Then they went on the road to the #1 seed in the conference, and even though the #1 seed was historically young, they were still a really good team and honestly got bent over by the Mavs. Truthfully speaking, as a Thunder fan, if SGA wasn't anything less than a top 5 player in the league in that series, we lose in 5, maybe get swept. And then in the next round they sweep the best defense in the league, the team that handily just beat the reigning champs. Like, it's nothing crazy. It ain't the 2024 Kansas City Chiefs playoff run, but still, they played some good ass teams. Now look at who the Celtics beat. First round they play a Miami Heat team missing their best player. Second round they play a Cleveland Cavaliers team missing their second best player for the whole series and their best player for half the series. Third round they play the Indiana Pacers, a team who was in the conference finals solely because their 2 opponents were missing their best players due to injury. Oh, and also the Indiana Pacers lost their best player due to injury in game 2. It's just hilarious. I gotta be honest, since I've started watching basketball, this has been the easiest path to the NBA Finals I've seen by a wide margin. And don't get me wrong, the Boston Celtics deserve to be here. Even if everyone in the conference was healthy, I still would have chosen them to reach the NBA Finals. But what am I supposed to do? Give them props for beating this "how many toddlers do you think you could beat in a fight" ass conference? Like, no, I'm sorry. I think this will be an even series. It could go either way for sure, but there is no doubt in my mind the Celtics are going to lose game 1. Boston has been sus at home for the last 2 seasons. They're going from C-level competition to A-level competition, and the fact that the Mavs beat the Timberwolves early means that Luka and Kyrie have a lot of time to rest, and they may honestly be the healthiest we've seen them this entire playoff run. As far as the other games in this series though, the Celtics have the definite advantage. Their starting lineup has 4 guys that you don't mind guarding Luka or Kyrie, making it very easy to keep Kristaps out of the pick and roll. On top of that, the Mavs have a lot of below average shooters the Celtics can help off of, so Kristaps, if he's healthy, can be a huge factor as a weak side rim protector. They can switch any guard or guard forward screens. PJ Washington may be able to take advantage of Derek White guarding him in the post, but a possession with PJ Washington as the primary shot creator is a win for any defense guarding Luka and Kyrie. On the other end of the court, I do think the Mavs match up pretty well with the Celtics. Honestly, I think the Thunder are like a B+ level version of the Celtics, and the Mavs did very well guarding them, neutralizing their multiple scoring options and 3-point shooting, and really forcing them to go to Shea every single possession. The issue is though, that even though, hot take, I think SGA is better than Jason Tatum, the Celtics are across the board much better shooters than the Thunder. The Mavs were very good at rotating, closing out, and contesting the Thunder on the perimeter, but OKC was still getting okay looks. Not good, but definitely makeable looks. The Celtics got 3 guys that will consistently make okay looks, and Holiday and Brown definitely aren't bad shooters themselves. Everything points to the Celtics winning this series, but I just can't do it. Part of it is I have some trouble trusting Jason Tatum to consistently perform in the playoffs. The other part of it is Luka and Kyrie. I think the Celtics are the better team, but I don't think it's by much. And also on top of that, given that it's the NBA Finals, I think all these games are going to be fairly close. And if the games are close, there isn't a duo in the league I trust more than Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. So because of that, I think I'm going to go Dallas Mavericks in 7. With that, thank you ladies and gentlemen for watching the video all the way through and sticking with us even though we've had a rough run of predictions for this playoff run. If you enjoyed this content, like and subscribe. Comment down below who you got winning the NBA Finals. Share the video with a friend, and as always, stay sweaty, ladies and gentlemen.